The top stories tonight in Y News. The aircraft that was supposed to bring President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to South Cotabato encountered a minor technical issue.
The Department of Justice files a complaint before the Integrated Bar of the Philippines against a former lawyer of the 5 Digamos-Ley suspects.
The toll rate increase in the North Luzon Expressway will push through despite calls from some lawmakers to defer its implementation.
And former United States President Donald Trump claims political persecution after pleading not guilty in arraignment over classified files.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Wednesday, the 14th of June, 2022. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am William Theo.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Hardin Delgado.
First in the news. The aircraft that was supposed to bring President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to South Cotabato encountered a minor technical issue on Wednesday. Nel Maribuhok will tell us why.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. apologized on Wednesday for the hours-long delay in his attendance at the launch of South Cotabato's modern rice production program after the plane he was in experienced technical issues.
Ay hingi ako ng paumanhin ninyo at pinag-antay ko kayo ng ilang oras. Mukhang ginugutom na kayo.
This was confirmed by Presidential Communications Office Secretary Cheloy Garafil to reporters. She said that the plane had to return to Villamor Air Base after encountering a technical issue. Secretary Garafil assured that the President was okay despite the incident. In a statement from the Philippine Air Force, it was explained that the aircraft carrying the President early this morning had to return to base a few minutes after takeoff due to a minor technical issue with the aircraft's flaps operations. According to the PAF, it was nothing serious, but as they maintain the highest standards of flight safety, the pilots decided to take precautionary measures and return to base. A ready backup aircraft was available. During his speech in South Cotabato, President Marcos affirmed his administration's commitment to achieving food security and self-sufficiency in the Philippines. He mentioned that this was one of the reasons why he led the launch of South Cotabato's Integrated Rice Processing Center.
Kailangan natin gawin ito dahil ayaw na natin mapunta sa sitwasyon na wala tayong makuna ng bigas, wala tayong hindi sapat ang ating pagkain, hindi tayo makapag-import, may gera, nagbagyo, whatever it is, kung ano man, ay kailangan nagagarantiyan natin sa ating mga kababayan na may sapat.
Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s second State of the Nation address, or SONA, will be delivered in a hybrid format. Janice Henta will tell us why.
House of Representatives Secretary General Reginald Velasco revealed the initial preparations for President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s second State of the Nation address, or SONA, in July. Secgen Velasco stated that a hybrid setup would still be implemented and Zoom video conferencing would be available for representatives, senators, and other officials who are unable to attend physically during the SONA.
I expect 100% attendance, no? Ibig sabihin, during the past 3 SONAs kasi, Zoom, no? Zoom, tapos walang tao. This time, lalo na if the government will declare, no, na tapos na yung COVID by June 30, expect so many people, no, would like to be here and watch the President deliver the SONA. Hybrid pa rin. We will have hybrid, and you know why? The problem with being here is some people may not be able to leave their homes for whatever reason, no? Lalo na if the COVID pandemic will not be declared as over by June 30.
As part of the health protocols, a COVID-19 antigen test would also be a requirement for all guests who will physically attend the sauna, while RT-PCR testing will not be required. However, since the House is expecting 100% attendance from the guest list, Velasco said they will open additional rooms to accommodate guests and visitors, especially senior citizens and those with medical impairments.
We're thinking of Romualdez Hall. It can accommodate up to 300 people seated. No, we will have tables, and then we will have merienda. We'll put a big screen there. No, the other one is the Women's Legislative Hall. No, those are the two rooms that we will make available for other guests. No.
The House is currently finalizing the list of guests who will attend PBBM's second sauna. Velasco mentioned that they are still waiting for the guest lists from the Senate and the Office of the President. Janice Enhente, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Justice has filed a complaint before the Integrated Bar of the Philippines against a former lawyer of the 5 accused in the killing of Negros Oriental Governor Roel Degamo. Dante Amento tells us why.
Department of Justice or DOJ Secretary Crispin Boyeng Rimulya revealed he filed a complaint against Attorney Danny Villanueva at the Integrated Bar of the Philippines or IBP. Rimulya explained Attorney Villanueva wasted the time and trifled the court processes after he filed a habeas corpus petition before the Manila court. He did not sign the petition but his client, Judiel Rivero, instead.
Nagpaset siya sa court ng hearing kahit na wala na mangyayari. So you're trifling with the court You're trifling with the process.
Villanueva is the former legal counsel for the 5 accused in the gruesome Pamplona massacre that killed Negros Oriental Governor Roel Degamo and other civilians. The Justice Chief added Villanueva filed the petition though the family of his client was already out of the Witness Protection Program or WPP. This is a violation of the professional conduct of a lawyer.
Yung pamilya niya, in that case, had already released itself from the Witness Protection Program. Pero final niya pa rin. Kasi sinabi niya sa media, file niya, yun ang ginawa niya, pero that's trifling with the judicial process.
Rimulya wanted to impose a disciplinary action against Villanueva.
Waste the time of the DOJ. Kailangan kami magpapirma ng affidavit namin para sabihin namin na hindi kami sakop niyan. Wala nang base ang kasong yan, pero file niya pa rin.
Attorney Villanueva, meanwhile, said the act of the Justice Department is a harassment. Before they filed the petition, they appealed to Rimulya to release Queenie, the wife of Rivero, and his 2 children. But no action from the DOJ, hence they assisted Rivero to file the petition. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The prices of rice are being affected by the recent weather conditions, according to an agricultural group. Meanwhile, the imported rice that has arrived in the country has reached more than 1.6 million metric tons. Ray Palayo will tell us why.
The farm gate price of palay has increased due to the recent rains experienced in different parts of the country, according to the Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura or SINAG. The group's chairman, Rosendo So, said that farmers have additional expenses to dry up their produce.
Yeah, yung palay tumaas ng 1 to 2 pesos. So automatic yung retail tataas din yan ng 2 to 3 pesos.
Price of rice in Metro Manila markets ranges from 34 to 42 pesos per kilogram for regular milled and 38 to 46 pesos for well milled. Sinag stated that the rice price may decrease when the harvest season starts in October, provided that the subsidy for farmers is distributed on time. Meanwhile, The imported rice that has arrived in the country has already reached 1.6 million metric tons. These imports came from Vietnam, Myanmar, Thailand, China, Pakistan, India, Japan, Italy, and Cambodia. Last year, the country imported a total of 3.6 million metric tons. The Department of Agriculture will implement more programs to stabilize the price of rice.
We believe na we have to put in place more programs to be able to achieve price stability.
Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And for news abroad, former United States President Donald Trump claims political persecution in his speech after pleading not guilty in the arraignment over classified files. Ryuji Sasaki explains why live. Good evening, Ryuji.
Good evening, Marielle. In Miami's federal courthouse today, a lawyer entered a not guilty plea to all charges on Trump's behalf in a brief arraignment in the case where he is accused of willfully withholding classified files and obstructing FBI's inquiry. Hours after his court appearance, which concluded with no mugshots and travel restrictions, Trump made a stop to Versailles Bakery where his fans celebrated his birthday in advance. Then, in front of a crowd of supporters at his New Jersey golf resort, Trump called the indictments corrupt and a political pursuit aimed to destroy him. Trump also projected that Biden orchestrated the federal charges against him, labeling them as acts of corruption and political persecution. The 76-year-old Republican, turning 77 tomorrow, was released on bond on the condition that he would not discuss the case with a list of witnesses. A trial date has not yet been confirmed, but the case is still designated to Aileen Cannon, a federal district judge in South Florida, who was appointed by Trump. Trump is the first U.S. president to be hit with a federal criminal indictment. Back to you, Marielle.
Ryuji, how many more legal battles will the ex-president face?
Marielle, Trump will be facing more legal battles on multiple fronts as his New York hush payment case is set down to start in March next year, on top of his current legal woes in Georgia over alleged election interference. Additionally, special counsel Jack Smith is also expected to seek an indictment regarding Trump's involvement in the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. Marielle?
All right, thank you for that live report, Ryuji Sasaki. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Marielle. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. In other news, the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, reiterates its call to motorists and riders to stay out of the EDSA busway after a tragic motorcycle accident. JP Nunez will tell us why.
At around 5 a.m. early morning on Wednesday, June 14, a rider was run over by a truck along the southbound lane of EDSA Shaw Tunnel. According to the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, a white SUV was behind the rider during the incident. It was allegedly bumped from behind, causing the motorcycle rider to topple. Both the SUV and the rider were on the EDSA bus carousel when the accident happened. Unfortunately, a tanker was on the side of the rider, which possibly ran over him. The MMDA issues a stern warning to unauthorized motorists and riders to avoid traversing the EDSA carousel.
Yung ating pong bus lane, nakikiusap po kami, whether umaga or gabi, bawal pong pumasok dyan. So, whether four wheels or motorcycle, dapat po hindi pumapasok dyan ang mga sasakyan. Mga buses lamang po ang dapat dyan.
Based on their initial report, the authority was able to obtain the driver's license of the victim and he has been identified. Meanwhile, the MMDA also mentioned that since the suspension of the no-contact apprehension policy or NCAP, accidents in the National Capital Region have increased. Based on MMDA's data, when NCAP was in effect from April 2022 to August, the number of accidents ranged from more than 5,000 to more than 6,000. However, after its suspension, the number rose to more than 6,000 and the highest recorded number reached more than 7,000. The MMDA plans to write to the Office of the Solicitor General to present their data for discussion in the Supreme Court. In the meantime, while the decision is still pending, the MMDA will increase the visibility of their traffic law enforcers to apprehend traffic violators, especially along the stretch of the EDSA carousel. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Meanwhile, the National Authority for Child Care assures that legal adoption in the country will be processed faster. The agency stated that legal adoption can now be processed within 6 to 9 months. Bernadette Tinoy will tell us why.
The National Authority for Child Care, or NACC, announced that legal adoption will be processed faster. According to Imelda Ronda from NACC's Domestic Adoption Unit, applicants will no longer need to file a petition of adoption in court, which can take up to a year. This means that the process of filing for a petition of adoption will now only last for 6 to 9 months under Republic Act No. 11642.
With the 11642, lahat ng proseso na po yun ay naging administrative na po siya. So yung pagdideclare ng bata as legally available for adoption is administrative.
NACC Undersecretary Janelle Ejercito Estrada reiterated the importance of not patronizing adoption through social media platforms like Facebook.
Marami tayong mga Facebook pages na nagpapaampo ng bata. So, gusto ko lang sabihin sa lahat na wag po tayong doon dumaan sa mga Facebook pages na yon. Dito po tayo sa legal na proseso dumaan. Dahil hindi po natin alam kung saan ang galing yung mga batang pinapaampo nila. Baka ito po ay bunga ng human trafficking.
Meanwhile, foster parent Arceli Rica Ford expressed her desire to continue adopting more children even after already adopting 23 children over a span of 2 decades.
Willing naman po ako mag-alaga pa hanggat kaya ko pa. Nakikita ko po sa kapaligiran na marami pong bata talaga, yung mga ina-abandon. Tapos nakikita ko nandyan lang sa kalye.
Bernadette Tinoy, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The toll rate increase in one of the country's major thoroughfares, the North Luzon Expressway, will push through despite calls from some lawmakers to put on hold its implementation. This report will tell us why. Senator Sherwin Gatchalian has joined the call of some of his colleagues to defer the implementation of the toll rate adjustment in the North Luzon Expressway, or NLEX, scheduled on June 15, Thursday. Earlier, Senate Minority Leader Aquilino Coco Pimentel appealed to the Toll Regulatory Board, or TRB, to put on hold the toll rate hike and address the traffic buildup first in some parts of NLEX, while Senator Grace Poe urged the board to look into the matter and make considerations for the motoring and riding public. But Gatchalian admits only a temporary restraining order can defer the implementation should the board uphold its decision approving the toll hike.
Ako, dumadaan ako dyan everyday. Ang first instinct ko is yung traffic. Lalo no, long weekend. Magtataas ka pero yung serbisyo na binabalik mo naman sa amin, hindi maganda. It's also the job of the regulator na i-assure yung publiko na maganda yung performance. Yung kanilang cashless system, marami doon sira. Ito dapat tignan nila dahil nakaka-contribute to sa traffic.
However, TRB spokesperson Julius Corpus says as of Wednesday morning, no order was given from the board to defer the implementation, which means the toll hike will push through effective tomorrow.
Ito pong mga toll fee adjustment na ating inaprubahan at ipapatupad bukas sa index ay pangangailangan po yan upang maipagpatuloy po nila ang serbisyong nararapat para sa inyo sa operations and maintenance requirement and obligation po nila at pati na rin sa mga improvements and expansions na malalaki po na aasahan natin na gagawin ng index itong mga darating na mga araw.
He also claims that the traffic buildup in Meycauayan exit in Bulacan was not caused by the toll plaza.
Yung pong local road talagang punong-puno. Nung pong kasing lumuwag ang ating pandemya, lalo pong lumakas at gumanda ang business environment dito sa Meycauayan. Yung mga industrial zones puro na nabuhay. Ang daming truck ngayon. Kaya tumahaba hanggang sa loob ng expressway, akala nila ang traffic ay dulot ng expressway.
Corpus says the NLEX management is now in coordination with the local government unit of Meycauayan, Bulacan to solve the traffic congestion in the area. Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God. Russian President Vladimir Putin has sparked alarm with his suggestion to order troops to seize additional land in Ukraine to protect Russian territory. However, the credibility of this threat is being questioned due to Russia's limited control over previously annexed areas. Joselito Liquido will tell us the details live. Good evening, Joselito.
Good evening, Maria. Russian President Vladimir Putin has threatened to seize additional land in Ukraine to protect Russian territory along the border. During a meeting with military journalists and bloggers, Putin claimed that Ukrainian forces suffered significant losses in a recent counteroffensive, although he denied plans for a new troop mobilization. However, given Russia's limited control over previously annexed areas, the credibility of Putin's threat is said to be questionable. The Russian president also stated that the United States could end the war by halting weapons shipments. While Putin expressed skepticism about Ukraine's progress in the counteroffensive, North Atlantic Treaty Organization or NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg informed President Joe Biden that Ukrainians were indeed making progress, which could strengthen their positions in the peace talks. The White House has not provided an immediate response to Putin's claims, but a U.S. official familiar with intelligence dismissed them as inaccurate, although the official did not provide any details as to why they are misleading. Meanwhile, Ukrainian forces are also continuing their offensive in 4 areas, according to the country's Deputy Defense Minister, Anna Malyar. It was reported that the Russian missile strike on Kryvyi resulted in at least 11 deaths and 36 injuries. The United States later announced a new military aid package worth up to $325 million for Ukraine. Back to you, Mariel.
Thank you, Joselito Liquido, for that live report. Due to an unprecedented funding crisis, the United Nations World Food Programme, or WFP, was forced to cut its assistance to Syria in July, reducing support to 2.5 million out of 5.5 million people in the country who rely on the agency for their basic food needs. The difficult decision comes after the WFP determined that they have exhausted all other options as the 7th Brussels Conference on supporting the future of Syria and the region approaches. WFP's country director and representative in Syria, Ken Crosley, regretfully stated that the food agency is facing the bleak scenario of taking assistance away from people who rely on the agency. They plan to stretch their extremely limited resources by prioritizing the 3 million Syrians who need food assistance the most. Meanwhile, Syria is still recovering from the destruction caused by devastating earthquakes in February, and the country is also grappling with the economic crisis deepened by the coronavirus pandemic. With rising fuel and food costs that are not matched by its funding, many are still struggling to cope. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Maria Latoza reporting live from Perth, Australia. Good evening. The Philippine national football team, known as the Azgals, will be competing against Nepal and Chinese Taipei in FIFA friendlies. The performance of their rookie players will be witnessed, and it is expected that they will strengthen the force of the team. Rina Villamor-Camara has the report.
The Philippines football national team will soon meet with Nepal and Chinese Taipei in the upcoming FIFA friendlies this June 15 and 19 at the Rizal Sports Stadium. And today, we have an opportunity to have a chat with their new head coach and some of their players. Let's go. First up, we had a chat with the returning head coach, Michael Weiss, who also handled the team in the years 2011 to 2014.
I will build up on what my predecessors did, and I will not turn everything around in one shot. That's not possible. But what I can promise is that we have a vibrant, eager team to go forward, play aggressive, good, technically nice football. That's what I want to do.
Under Weiss, from 2011 to 2014, the Azgals almost had a 50% winning percentage, with a record of 21 wins, 11 draws, and 12 losses. This 58-year-old German mentor said he is looking forward to provide stability for the team and consistency with the players' performances. I also came across the son of PBA legend JV Gayoso, Harvey Gayoso, who plays as a striker for the Philippine Football League under Club Gaya Iloilo and the Philippine men's national football team. This vigorous and athletic young man also played basketball and took part in the track and field team of Ateneo de Manila High School before he shifted focus to football alone.
I've done really well in this last local season here in the PFL, and my mentality is great. It's great to be called up, of course, to represent the country. And aside from the mental aspect of my preparation, I've been working on getting bigger, making sure that I get my fitness up, and just overall being the biggest help that I can be to the squad.
Joining the team is midfielder Sandro Reyes, who played for Regional Liga as well as the national team. This young lad has also seen action in the Spanish La Liga side Barcelona and has similarly joined the youth academy of Sant Buana in the Spanish 5th division.
Maybe we're not in the best situation right now in our history of football, but we're trying our best to get back to winning and get back to competing with the best teams in Asia.
We also saw the head coach of Nepal, who just arrived in the country a few hours before this interview.
I saw a couple of faces of Philippine coming here, national team, and they're almost the same team. We will face a strong national team, or even in the ranking there are more high than us. So they have a special quality when they play at home. And I think the coach was already here far back, no? So I think it will be a hard game for us. I'm so happy, so exciting for this game.
At present, the Philippines ranks 136 at the FIFA World Cup rankings. Nepal at 174 and 156 for Chinese Taipei. So far, the team has not qualified yet for the World Cup, yet has qualified for the AFC Asian Cup in the year 2019. Rina Villamor-Camara, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 7, verse 31, it says, "And they that use this world, as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away." And those are the reasons behind the news, June 14, 2023. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Hardy Delgado.
And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.